Story number 2, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown
transition.
team disbanded at Ubisoft. It's claimed. This comes from Mike Straw at Insider Gaming. There won't be a sequel to the Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and the team that built the game no longer exists at Ubisoft. According to a new rumor from French journalist Gautos, Ubisoft has disbanded the team behind the game after it failed to reach internal expectations. A sequel for the game was also pitched, but the company rejected it. The news was first revealed during Gauto's show on the Origami YouTube channel. The show is in French, but a user from Reset Era summarized the report. The report claims that a decision about the future of the game was decided a few weeks after the release. It was made clear by Ubisoft that after releasing DLC and cosmetics for the game, support would be done. It was also said that members of the core dev team fought for the aforementioned sequel and even more expansions. Lastly, it said that Ubisoft didn't want another game because those higher up in the company said it could cannibalize the potential long-term sales of the first game. Insider Gaming has reached out to multiple sources on the legitimacy of the rumor. Should any new information come, this article will be updated accordingly. Until then, please take this information with a grain of salt. Paris, what do you think?
You know, I'm not going to take it with a grain of salt because this seems like it most likely happened. And it's a damn shame that arguably one of the best games of this year. Like it's on my short list for game of the year right now. That's how good Lost Crown was. And the fact that they did have an idea for a sequel and it's not going to happen. And I know the article didn't specify what happened to the team. So hopefully disbanded just means that they've been reassigned within Ubisoft. So nobody's lost their job over this. But, you know, we wanted a new Prince of Persia forever. We got one. We got one that was kind of in a Metroidvania type of style. It was good. It was fun. It was a fantastic game. Best, you know, it was the first game that came out, you know, this year. And it was great. And then it hasn't even been a year. And it's already, yep, we're done. We're moving on and don't expect anything else to come out of this franchise. Not the franchise. I'm sure we'll get something Prince of Persia, but this style of game, done. That's a bummer. It totally is. And with everything that's been going on with Ubisoft that's been in the news, you know, over the past few weeks and months, it's par for the course. Unfortunately, I'm very worried about Ubisoft as a whole because it just seems like no, and I talked about this a couple weeks ago. I forget whatever the news was a couple weeks ago. But when you think about Ubisoft, it's not for a lack of IPs. They have the IPs. They have IPs that people want to play, but they consistently seem to not be either putting these games out or they're presenting them in a way that they're not being properly monetized. They're not being successful, and it's hurting the company as a whole. So you don't get sequels to games that are actually fun because nobody, I guess, apparently didn't meet the sales projections for Lost Crown. So now the people that did play Lost Crown that have critically praised it like ourselves, you know, we're not going to see another one. And that's just a damn shame.
Yeah. I mean, Prince of Persia: Lost Crown, anybody listening to this knows, it is my game of the year so far.
Yeah.
And that is up there where Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Astrobot are in contention in that. But like so far for me, it is Prince of Persia: Lost Crown. I love this game. I've loved Prince of Persia forever. One of my favorite gaming franchises through all of its iterations. And it being a Metroidvania, one of my favorite genres. Seeing what they did to push that genre forward, a genre that we have seen so many people do amazingly. But what Lost Crown did, there's some mechanics in that I'm like, oh, this is brilliant. And every Metroidvania going forward should be doing this. But on top of that, there's a style to Prince of Persia. There's a care to making it just cool as hell that you don't see. And the production value in this type of Metroidvania, I don't think I've ever seen it before, period. Like Ubisoft really put their best foot forward with this. This is the team they were talking about that is now disbanded, is the team that made Prince of Persia: Lost Crown, but also made Rayman Origins, Rayman Legends, some of the best platformers ever. Two other games that I'm just like, why aren't we seeing them again? They're critically acclaimed. People love them. They sold fine. But here's the problem with it. It's like the level of success necessary for this. Why would you look at a game? Why would you make a game that's like this and have it be possible that it doesn't hit with critical acclaim and have it be possible that it's not hitting sales that make it successful enough? When they announced that there was DLC coming for this game, major DLC, and throughout this year, there's been multiple DLC drops. I've played all of them, and I've enjoyed the hell out of them. In fact, playing through the Mask of Darkness DLC a couple weeks ago is what really cemented that so far, I do think this is the number one spot for me for Game of the Year. Why would you invest that much if you didn't know that it's going to work? The DLC, the type of DLC for this game is not the type of thing that's going to get new people back in. Like, I get that there's the marketing beats, but like the way that Ubisoft put this game out, it not being on Steam day one, there's just decisions that they made that I feel were working against this type of game working. You got to support these things in the way that they need to be supported in order to hit any type of expectations, any type of goals.
This episode is brought to you by Phasmophobia. The genre-defining horror game is finally coming to consoles on October 29th, 2024.
What did you see? Okay, never mind, we're coming. Hello?
That's right, just in time for Halloween, the phenomenon that is Phasmophobia enters console early access on PS5, PSVR 2, and Xbox Series X/S with full cross-play supported across the platforms. Join the already almost 20 million players on Steam, including our very own Snowbike Mike, and get ready for some spine-chilling ghost hunting with up to 3 friends. Making sure you work as a team and utilize your equipment is key to making it out alive. It's almost time, Ghost Hunters. Phasmophobia is finally entering early access on PS5, PSVR 2, and Xbox Series X/S on October 29th. Wishlist now and prepare for the terrifying ghost hunts that await.
This episode is brought to you by New World Eternum. New World Eternum is a thrilling action RPG experience for console and PC players with a vibrant world, vast and beautiful setting, dynamic real-time action combat, and the freedom for players to choose how to forge their destiny. Combat is skill-based and dynamic, incorporating swords, guns, and sorcery so that you can build one character to rule them all as you explore Eternum and unravel the mysteries of the supernatural island that you can't leave. You love playing RPGs alone? You can in New World Eternum, or play cooperatively with your friends as you complete quests, get better gear, and level up. Greg played this at Summer Game Fest on PlayStation 5 and was caught off guard by how much he enjoyed it and how many hours he said he could see himself sinking into the final product. There's boss fights, cool enemies, crossplay, resource gathering, and crafting. So yeah, this sounds like a Greg game. New World Eternum is available now on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. This episode is brought to you by Marvel Snap. Y'all know Marvel Snap completely took over my life when it burst on the scene 2 years ago. I love it so much that I even mentioned it in my wedding vows, because to this day, my wife Gia is so obsessed that she has not missed a single day of completing her daily challenges. Marvel Snap is an award-winning collectible card game that combines deep strategy, a unique snapping mechanic, and your favorite Marvel characters with thousands of unique card art variants created by renowned artists to collect and use. Each game only takes about 3 minutes, so you can get in and out wherever you are. And with more than 270 cards in Marvel Snap with over 2,000 unique art variants, you'll always find some new fun. Marvel Snap just celebrated their 2nd anniversary, and to say thank you, they're throwing a party. Boosters, credits, variants, borders, and more are all up for grabs just by logging in daily, starting on their anniversary, October 18th. Download the Marvel Snap app now, available on the App Store, Google Play, and Steam, or visit marvelsnap.com to learn more. This episode is brought to you by Shady Rays. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium, polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers an unrivaled product that's just as good as any expensive pair that we've worn. Y'all know I've been outside in the sun a lot playing Pokemon Go, and it's such a great experience wearing Shady Rays when I am out and about looking dope. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost or broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair. No questions asked. Exclusively for y'all, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal. Head to shadyrays.com and use code KINDAFUNNY for 50% off 2 or more pairs of shades. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Again, shadyrays.com, use code KINDAFUNNY for 50% off 2 or more pairs of shades. And it's just so frustrating to see Ubisoft flounder. To your point, so many IP that we know we care about. And I feel like they just keep making the wrong decisions, and there's just too many cooks in the kitchen, and they seem aimless, they seem directionless, and whenever they start doing something that like people are excited about, groups of people are excited about, not everything's going to be for everyone. That's totally fine. I know that there's so many people that are going to look at Prince of Persia Lost Crown and be like, I'm not playing a 2D game. I'm not playing a Metroidvania. I wish it was 3D. This, that, whatever. There's so many reasons that people might not want it. But if you're going to make this game and you're going to make it as good as it is, you need to know who you're making it for and make sure
market it to those people. Yeah, 100%.
And I feel like they made so many wrong calls with this game. Even marketing, it reminds me of Transformers 1, Paris, so goddamn much. When they first put the trailer out for Prince of Persia, the music that they had playing, I think, was just so tone deaf in terms of what this game actually is now that we've played it and how cool and stylish it actually is.
Yeah.
They presented it in a way to give people shit to talk about, bad shit to talk about. And, you know, mistakes are made. You got to try. There has to be some type of mass appeal. But I don't know, man. This is so heartbreaking personally to me because I care about this franchise. I care about this iteration of the franchise so much. And I care about this team. This team is one of my favorite teams when I look back at a team that has made multiple different games that I love. And now they're disbanded. This is Beanox all over again. This is freaking Vicarious Visions. This is Neversoft. This reminds me of best case scenario. This is one of those situations of what Activision did, and you take these people, and now they're making freaking Overwatch maps. Worst case scenario, they're laid off. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. And again, we're not inside of Ubisoft. We don't know how the business is working there, but it's just like a thought I'm having as you're talking about this. Like you said, probably your game of the year. Definitely in my top 5 by the time we get to the end of this, right? We know a lot of other people that have the same sentiment. This will have a presence in December at the Game Awards. It just will, right? Let's just say it wins some whatever award. They get to actually come up and accept the award. You're now exposing Prince of Persia to millions of people at that point. It's almost like, and I know this is a rumor, so this wasn't supposed to get out now, but wouldn't you think Ubisoft would at least want to wait to see what the critical praise for this could be? Because that's essentially a marketing beat for them. Maybe it could re-energize people into wanting actually, oh crap, I didn't know Prince of Persia was that good. Let me go pick it up. Maybe it could have a second life as far as sales go, which then could greenlight a sequel to it versus just saying, yep, we're not doing it and disbanding it in less than a year. I don't know. And to your point again, you put out DLC for it. You obviously had this team working on things. It just seems short-sighted to me to do this now. And we obviously don't know the financials. We don't know the business reasons why, but I'm just shocked that it hasn't even been a year and this decision's already been made.
Yeah, and again, we don't know that this is real. Like, it seems likely that it is. And them talking about like this sounds like it was decided weeks after the game released, and that to me is just like what is so insane because you look at Ubisoft and you can look at all of the publishers out there and there's things to criticize for sure, but it's so unfortunate that when we look at Ubisoft, I feel like we could write a script of how their games are going to go from announcement to release to post-release updates and their marketing beats and where sales are included and how quickly their games drop in price, which you can look at as like, oh, that's good for the consumer. But here, clearly, you can look at it as, well, it's bad for the developer. Like you're putting out the expectations everyone has is, oh, I'm not going to buy Prince of Persia. I'm going to wait till it goes on sale because it's going to go on sale within weeks. And all of this shit with their Ubisoft Play and Ubisoft, I don't even know what the fuck it's called, but all that stuff. Like I'm this is coming from a place of anger from me because this game belonged on Steam day one. The Steam audience is the audience that's going to want this game. And not putting it out there now that they're like, oh, we're putting their games on Steam day one. It's like, well, yeah, after fucking Star Wars didn't work out. Now you're really like, we got to figure this shit out. I don't know, man. It just feels like so many talented people done so dirty and an IP that means so much just done so wrong when they got it right. They nailed this game.
Yes, it was fantastic. I'm concerned for Ubisoft because when I look at Assassin's Creed, I feel like a lot is being put onto that game when it comes out in February. And if it does not hit the way that they need it to, there's going to be serious repercussions in that company. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just the warning signs are there. We're seeing it. You could take it all the way back to with Avatar underperform. X Defiant looks like it might potentially be on its last legs. I don't hear anybody really talking about Rainbow Six anymore, right? Where the hell is Splinter Cell? Beyond Good and Evil 2 has been in development for 20 years, right?
Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake, right?
Yeah.
Which they announced looked like a disaster. Then they essentially rebooted entirely, and now that's years away. If we even fucking see it. To your point about Splinter Cell's in the same boat as Prince of Persia, a franchise that everyone's like, we want back, and different times, different levels of everyone, sure. But when Splinter Cell comes out, do we really believe whatever that project's going to be is going to be successful enough to be deemed a success the way that Ubisoft is looking at things now? I don't think so. I really don't think so. And when we look at what Ubisoft, Bless and I on Games Daily have been talking about this shit for years of just watching Ubisoft and trying to figure out what their direction is. And it's when we looked at what they've had the last couple months, Star Wars Outlaws, a giant Star Wars game, followed up with Assassin's Creed Shadows. We're going to Japan. We're doing the Assassin's Creed in Japan. People have been asking for fucking ever. And you combine both of those things, I don't think Ubisoft had a bigger opportunity with two back-to-back. Holy crap, these are the big guns. These are the big guns. And that's also backed on a critical darling in the form of a smaller title, Prince of Persia: Lost Crown. And I don't even need to keep going about any of those things. We know where we're at. We know what Star Wars Outlaws did. Assassin's Creed's delayed. We don't actually know what it's going to do, but it's not hidden when it was supposed to.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, like I said, fingers crossed. Hopefully, Ubisoft, the company, figures this out because, again, just what we keep saying, there's so many beloved IPs that people want. We want to play these games that they need to figure out whatever they got to do to make this work and have it successful. So I don't know. I really don't know, but it is not looking good. And I hate saying that.
It just feels steps away from Tencent acquiring them.
Yeah.
Their IP being farmed out to here and here and here, and then eventually dying. And I don't know. Again, I apologize for being so upset about this. I just really am. So we got a couple super chats here. M. Knight writes in saying, I'm pretty sure it's a different team, but do you think this affects the roguelike one they're making? No, I don't. The Rogue Prince of Persia is a much, much smaller title. And if I remember correctly, it's not a Ubisoft team working on it. They're just publishing it.
I thought it was Dead Cell's team, right?
Yeah, but they're Dead Cell Motion Twin, I think. Yeah. So I think that's more of a partnership than a internal dev thing.